I'm Chef Linton Hopkins here in Atlanta. I have this beautiful fried turkey, brined and fried in 100% peanut oil. I'm going to teach you how to do that today. This is a rite of passage for me when I first learned to do this, and now I do it every Thanksgiving. For frying, peanut oil is the best possible ingredient. This is a refined peanut oil, so that it actually has that high flash point, so it doesn't develop a lot of off flavors as you fry. It has that toasty note. The beautiful thing that I found out about this, it's actually non-allergenic. The things I do first to make sure the turkey is delicious is we brine the turkey, salt the turkey, season the turkey, flavor the turkey. So I've got sage and thyme and shallots and garlic, bay leaves, one of my favorite seasonings, whole peppercorns and salt. But I just like pouring the salt right in, and we've got, according to the recipe, about a cup of salt to 3 quarts of water. It's about tasting it. You want a good salty water. This is the same way I think about even cooking shrimp. Does it sort of taste a little less salty than seawater? It's already dissolved. That really wasn't that hard. We've got our bay leaves, our thyme, our sage. We're going to cut the garlic in half across the dimension here. Be very mindful when cutting something like this. This is true with everything. Have your hand on the outside, so when it happens, it slips. It's not going onto you. Good sharp knife, firm, staying in control of the knife all the way. Nice, you see it's great garlic. It's not a lot of shot with green, which would add bitterness. Put this in. Then we have our peppercorns. Right in like that. Stir this. Again, you can cook it just to open up some of the aromatics a little more. Absolutely not necessary. So, I mean, that's it. I didn't really have to work it that hard. It is about a ratio more than a recipe. And I taste it. You know, it should taste seasoned, and that's when you have a good brine. It really shouldn't taste overly salty or undersalted. Think about how you evaluate the flavor you like, and then brine to your taste. The most important thing about cooking is not trying to cook for other people by figuring out how they like to taste something. Trust your own taste. If you trust your own taste, the brine tastes good to you, it tastes seasoned, that's the way. And the idea is submerging the bird. Around a 15-pound bird is, I think, the ideal turkey size. So if you have more people, just do 2 birds. A 5-gallon bucket holds a 12 to 15-pound turkey just perfectly. We've poured the brine over. Again, we've got about 2 inches from the main body of the bird. It's okay if you get the little legs sticking out. That's quite all right. Then you've got those aromatics. The key is you do need room to keep this cold, so having your refrigerator shelves, a lot of times they're adjustable, slide that right into the refrigerator, and it's a good time to probably clean your fridge and get all those condiments out that you haven't used in a year. Some people leave this out room temp and put a lot of ice in that. Yeah, now you're ready to go. I put a couple of those down in the cavity. Again, it's just about infusion of flavor. Let it sit. We can brine it for 12 hours, we can brine it for 18 hours, we can brine it for 24 hours. All good. All right, so 18 hours. We have our turkey. It's been brined. Now it's about getting it ready to fry in our beautiful peanut oil fryer. Let's get your paper towels. Oil and water, frying water, doesn't really work. So you really want to get this as dry as possible. Down in the cavity, get all that extra water. What we're gonna also do with the turkey is we're gonna be injecting to even get some of this flavor down closer to the bone. It's not about just doing this all over. Everything should be done with intent. So now we've got our nice dry turkey, got our pan, and we're gonna go outside and we're gonna fry. All right, safety. We're outside, we're far away from burning materials. Got our propane tank. We got our fryer oil here. We're nice, stable ground, protective gloves. You know, I don't want to burn myself. Our hook for lowering it and being very careful. And again, we're just steady, you know, it's stable. And so just look for those very simple steps. And that's what's really gonna avoid any kind of big emergency. You're also going to see how slowly we lower the turkey in as it starts happening, and we watch the bubble. All right, here we are. Oil, brined turkey. You hear that bubbling? That's just from a little bit of the juice popping out. You want to feed that in, nice and careful. See how slow I'm going? Now the turkey's touching the oil. I'm not letting it go completely. I have the right amount of oil in there. Steam's happening. The moisture's coming. Even though we dried that turkey, there's still a little brine on there. I can see the temperature of the oil, like we talked about, is dropping about 50 degrees. Again, see how slow and deliberate we are? And we're not going to let it drop until we feel that it's settled. Sometimes you're going to notice the turkey's not fully submerged. And that's not a problem. Have a little extra peanut oil on hand and just cover it right up. We want to just cover it so we get the full frying effect. We want it to fry about between 325 and 350 during the entire process. Remember, it's about 35 to 45 minutes, depending upon the size of the turkey. Really about 3 minutes per every pound, pound and a half. One of the virtues of peanut oil is we don't have a high foam content. Some oils, this doesn't really work well because it really foams and it really changes on its volume with heat. You can also see peanut oil doesn't burn. It's got a high flash point, so you've got a lot of this nice golden color. Again, the oil becomes this nice golden brown just like the turkey, and that's part of the great coloration. The aroma is of this beautiful toasted turkey flavor. That's another aspect that's so great about peanut oil, is it doesn't cover or bring in too much of its own voice into the recipe. It complements. And that's an important thing when choosing your oil. What is the taste like? How does it bond with the other flavors that are part of what you're going for? That's why we kept the recipe very simple. You can get gloves, instant read thermometers. Again, I'm checking the temperature. I want to get to above 155, right in the deepest part of the breast. Now it's about slowly pulling the turkey out. Again, it's very useful to have these sort of heat-resistant gloves. Have your buddy next to your side to help you with this tray. We're going to let it sit there. We want to drain the oil, then carefully lift. Now we're going to take it inside. We're going to rest it, as I said, about minimum 15 minutes. Let all those juices go back to where they belong, and then we're ready to slice. Important, this is the time to turn this off. Let the peanut oil get room temperature, get cold. What can you do with this oil? You don't just pour it into the grass or down the drain. You can recycle it, and there's recycling pickup that you can find out in any jurisdiction you have. In the restaurant business, of course, we would reuse this again and again. I'd probably get, and I would strain it, so I'd probably get about 2 weeks of life out of it frying every single day. In fact, I find that peanut oil, one of its virtues is it gets better each time you fry with it. So the batch that's got a week of frying in it is really, to me, the ideal batch. It's just right. I'll take a little and chill it, and I'll use that for making a roasted turkey vinaigrette, with apple cider vinegar that then becomes a dressing for a salad with frisée and onions. So again, it's quite versatile. We're just going to let it cool. If you have a refrigerator at home and you want to keep it for next season, you can just refrigerate it, strain it, refrigerate it into a nice clean jar. It'll keep for a year. Good cooking means no waste, so find a good home for this. It's not just trash. I just want to show you how juicy this turkey really is. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Linton Hopkins. I hope you really enjoy the recipe. Get out there and start frying. It's going to be something you really enjoy.